At this time, I want to show you a short video as an introduction to our guest speaker. You're going to love this guy. He is really, really good. But he asked that I show this video before I read his bio. So let's watch the video first. Why would anybody in his right mind want to jump on a sled and hurl himself down an icy mountain at over 90 miles per hour? At the age of 21, Ruben Gonzalez took up the sport of luge and started training for a dream. 4 years and a few broken bones later, Ruben realized his dream by competing in his first Olympic Games. But he didn't stop there. When Ruben raced in Vancouver at the age of 47, he became the first person to ever compete in 4 Winter Olympics. 4 Winter Olympics, each in a different decade. As he says, it doesn't mean he's good, it just means he's old. As you're about to hear, Ruben believes in making your life a fantastic adventure. Ruben's built libraries in third world countries. He's skydived in South Africa. He swam in the Indian Ocean. Ruben has run with the bulls in Pamplona, Spain. He's climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Wait until you hear about the adventures that he's planning for this next year. Get ready to be inspired to go for the goal as we welcome 4-time Olympian, Mr. Ruben Gonzalez.
McKinney. All right. Man, I love you guys already. My gosh. Oh, you're doing it right. I mean, God, country, first responders, everything. I mean, I love it. People always ask me, what's it feel like? What's it feel like to hurl down an icy mountain at 80, 90 miles an hour? Is it scary? Yes, it's scary. It's awful, awful. After all, I didn't get started till I was 21 years old. Most luge guys, they start when they're 10 years old. 10-year-olds, they're bulletproof. They're not afraid of anything. And these little kids, by the time they're old enough to know better, they've trained so long, they've acquired such great skills that they hardly ever experience any fear. But I got started when I was 21. And so I did the luge on and off for 27 years. I've got thousands of runs under my belt. And until the last couple of years, I was scared after every single run. The luge track, it's a chute of ice that starts 50 stories up the mountain. 50 stories! I mean, that's way up there. You're gonna be sliding down that mountain on a little bitty sled, just a piece of fiberglass and a couple of steel runners. You know you'll be hitting speeds of 80, 90 miles an hour, and you got no brakes. I mean, does this sound normal so far? You walk up to the start, your hands get sweaty, your mouth gets dry, hair starts staying in the back of your neck, your sphincter, okay? This one on top of your stomach, all right? Oh, you guys are awful. Tightens up so you don't get sick, okay? Because you know what could happen down there. I mean, broken bones, concussions, dislocations, even worse. Over the years, I've broken my foot twice, my knee, my elbow, my hand, my thumb, couple ribs. My neck's a chiropractor's dream. They find things there they never seen before, all right? And all my breaks are on this side. I mean, this is my unlucky side, this is my lucky side, right? Go figure. I mean, this is a Tom Cruise side, and this is a Tommy Lee Jones side, right? So you walk up to the start, you're a little nervous, and you got a couple of minutes to go. And just like you saw in the video, luge run takes about a minute. And so 2 minutes, that's just long enough. You're waiting for the sled in front of you to clear the track, one sled at a time. And so 2 minutes, that's just long enough to take one last run in your mind, vividly imagining exactly what you'll do the whole way down. And it's just like before you take a test in school, right? You close your eyes, okay, curve 1, easy, curve 2, point your toes, curve 3, relax, remember to breathe. And it's always perfect, right? You always win the gold medal when you're visualizing. But now it's really time to do it. And so coach, he gives you a little pat in the back and he moves to the side. You've got spikes on your fingertips that you'll use to build up speed at the start. You test them on the ice. Yeah, they feel good. You take a couple of deep breaths, get yourself centered, right? Visor goes down, grip the handles, and it's 1, 2, 3, and you pull as hard as you can. And you paddle furiously to build up speed, and you lay down. And in no time, you're doing 50, 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. And as the speed increases, so does the fear. And the world's just doing this. And you're focused on a spot about 30 feet in front of you, just flying down the track. And people watch us on TV, they think all we do is hold on and pray, right? They're almost right. We hold on, we pray. I mean, luge is really good for your prayer life. I mean, hold on, you pray, and you steer a lot. You're making hundreds of tiny corrections the whole way down and have the perfect line down the track. But it doesn't take much because the sled is so responsive, it feels like you're laying on a skate. All you got to do is push with your shoulder just a little bit and woof, there it goes. You pull with your handle, that's a medium steer. You apply force with your legs, that's like doing this with a car, that's for emergencies. If you hiccup, that could be enough of a motion to cause you to slam against the wall and crash. It's true. If it's your turn to go, you get the hiccups, you're gonna have a rough ride. You're flying down that track, 80 miles an hour, you hit a curve. All of a sudden, you're 15, 20 feet up against the wall, pulling up to 6 Gs. 6 Gs means I weigh 200 pounds. That's 1,200 pounds squashing you against the wall. Feels like a polar bear sitting on your chest. You see the exit way down there. It's like, trying to drive through. And it's not smooth, okay? It's bumpy. I mean, people always say, oh, the luge, that looks like fun. That's a water slide, right? No, it's a water slide on steroids. That's what it is. It's not fun. It's not smooth. It's bumpy as can be. So double vision the whole way down. You cross the finish line. How are you going to stop? You got no brakes. Well, you force yourself to sit up on the sled, and as soon as you do, boom, you get thrown back with this 80-mile-an-hour wind. You grip the front of the sled, dig your heels in, and you slow down, stop. Takes 2 football fields, 200 yards to come to a stop. And you step off that sled, and about 5 seconds after you step off the sled, the adrenaline rush hits you. The fear hits you like a sledgehammer. I'm never doing that again. That's it. I quit. I was a soccer player. I mean, soccer's soft. It's warm. You don't get killed in soccer. What was I thinking? Why do luge? Why do ping pong or curling or something like that? And you want to quit because you're scared, okay? Fortunately, there's a walkie-talkie down at the finish line. There's a bunch of walkie-talkies. Because, see, there's coaches up and down the track. And my coach, he's a 4-time Olympian and a 3-time world champion from Austria. This guy's the best of the best. He's the Michael Jordan of luge. He's about 6'6", looks like and sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger, okay? And when he says jump, I say how high, okay? This guy's mean, he's tough. He could have been a drill sergeant, all right? I mean, I don't even like him. I don't. He's too tough, okay? You play Monopoly with Coach, he won't even trade properties with you, and he still wins. So I don't like him. But it doesn't matter. I respect him because he's done what I want to do. And so my attitude is, doesn't matter if I like him or not. That's totally immaterial. I respect him. He knows the way. I'm going to follow that way. If Coach says, shave your head, wear some lipstick, that'll make you go faster, man, let's do it right now. I mean, that's my attitude. Yeah, he knows the way. It's a no-brainer. It really is. When I was a kid, my dad used to say, Ruben, if you have to cross a minefield, it probably makes sense to follow somebody that's already crossed it. Preferably, somebody still walking, right? So he was always telling me, find the mentor, find the coach, find the person who's already done what you want to do. They'll help you. And so I always do that. When we climbed Kilimanjaro, we got a guy that had climbed Mount Everest. He can do Kilimanjaro like this, okay? I mean, he really can. And he told us, he said, look, it's gonna take 5 days, about 8-10 hours a day. All you gotta do is you do everything I say. And you put your foot where I put my foot for the next 5 days. And in 5 days, you're gonna get a really cool picture at the highest point in Africa. And we did, and it worked. I'm not a mountain climber. I'm a mountain follower, okay? Yeah. When I decided I wanted to run with the bulls in Pamplona, same approach. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. I'm not. I read 3 books about Pamplona. I called one of the guys that wrote it. He'd run it about 30 years. And I said, I need some coaching. I want the experience. I don't want any extra holes in my body. And he said, don't stand in the beginning, you get killed. Don't stand at the end, you'll probably get killed. Don't stand in the middle, there's this curve and you're gonna squashed. What you do is, 50 yards past that curve, you get on the right side. The bulls, no guarantees, but the bulls are gonna pass you about 10 feet away. You get the Pamplona experience without the holes. Thought, cool, right? And he taught me how to tie my sash. So if a horn got hooked, it was a slip knot. It wasn't a double knot. Double knot, man, your head's bouncing off the cobblestones, right? Yeah, little things that make a big difference, right? Turned a potentially disastrous thing, right, into a fun, cool experience. And so you find a coach. You find a coach. And so I never would have made it to the Olympics without a coach. No way. There's no way. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But there's no way. But I just had a bad run. Let's go back to that first run that I told you. I pick up that walkie-talkie, all right? I'm out of breath. I'm shaking. It wasn't a good run, all right? And which is normal. You have a lot of bad runs, and then you start getting a little bit better, and you get a little bit better, and then it's about consistency, and then hopefully you get there, right? But I pick up that walkie-talkie. I'm out of breath. I'm fed up. I'm ready to quit. It's, Coach, this is Ruben. Ruben, knock, come on. Bad news, okay? Whenever a coach says, knock, come on, I mean, I'm shaking inside. He says, Ruben, knock, come on. You must point your toes more. And Ruben, put your head further back. And Ruben, you were so late on curve 6, you must steer harder, curve 6. And Ruben, relax, relax. Be one with the sled, have fun. Click. Right. How you gonna relax when you're scared half to death? You started when you were 5 years old, for Pete's sake. He's nuts. He's nuts. Coach is nuts. He's nuts, but he's right. All my problems did start on curve 6. That's when I lost control. That's when I started banging the walls. I gotta get back on that sled. I gotta get back on that sled. I can do it. I'm a winner. I'm going to the Olympics. I can do it. Sometimes I gotta walk up and down the track, 15, 20 minutes, give myself a pep talk. And finally, after doing that long enough, the belief kicks in, the courage kicks in, and you say to yourself, I will get on that sled. And when I do, I'm pointing those toes, head's going back, I'm steering harder on that curve 6. I'm gonna relax and look out. I'm gonna have my best run ever. And I did. I did. I never would have made it to the Olympics without Coach. You know what he does for me in 15 seconds on that walkie-talkie? He helps me take the eyes off the fear and put the eyes back on the dream, the Olympics. Guys, you're gonna have a bad day once in a while. You're gonna have a bad week. You're gonna have a bad month. Once in a while, you have a bad year. You do. I mean, everybody does. I have. I've had years when it seemed like no matter how hard I tried, how hard I worked, nothing seemed to work out. And you start getting discouraged. You start questioning yourself. You just get so close to just throwing it all away and quitting. Some days you're the windshield. Some days you're the bug, right? I mean, that's just life. That's just life, guys. It's just like in the news, those fronts, those cold fronts, they keep coming, right? Cold fronts are good here, but you know what I mean. It's that rain stuff and the hail, right? But they just keep coming. They're not gonna stop. No, life is just a series of struggles, and it's how you deal with them and what you do to get you through, right? So when you're going through life's storms, don't try to figure it out on your own, right? If you do, you'll always take the easy way out. You'll regret it later. Rather, do what I did. Pick up that walkie-talkie, pick up the phone, call your best friend, call your best buddy, call your husband, your wife, call somebody, okay? Call somebody that loves you. Call somebody in this room. Call somebody that loves you, somebody that believes in you. Somebody get you back on track. Somebody get you back on that sled. Because if you quit on your dream, you regret it all your life. You will. You will. And you guys, sometimes I get the feeling that you may not believe that what you do is as important as it is. But it's huge. Because when you quit on your dream, the dream of teaching and molding and guiding and coaching kids, it's not just you. You got a multiplier effect. There's hundreds of kids. You guys are in the ripple effect. You just have a ripple effect with all those kids every single year. Do you get to all of them? No, of course not. But you get to some, right? And as long as you move them from here to here, just move them forward a little bit, you did great. You did great, because next year somebody else will pick up where you left off. I kind of fell into this business. I'll tell you more about it in a minute, but there's a lot of big fat heads in this business, okay? They got into the speaking business because they like the applause. They like the standing ovations and all that, right? And it's never been about that for me. I couldn't care less, okay? Seriously, I love you either way, okay? No big deal. But they got into it for the wrong reason. And what happens afterwards, you always get out of a group like this, you might get one or two people that'll come say, oh my gosh, you changed my life, blah, 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 right? And they're all excited and everything. And I'm thinking, fine. But they believe it, right? And finally I figured it out. You know what happened? Every time you read a good book, right, a motivational, inspirational book, or every time you listen to a speaker and really touches you, or a preacher, right? Same thing. You get moved up a little bit, right? You went from a 78 to a 79. And then a couple of months later, you see somebody else. Now you're 79 to 80, right? And so those three people that come and are oh my gosh, you changed my life, they came in at 99. I just bumped them up to 1 point, and I'm getting all the credit. See, that's how it works. And so remember that. You're pumping them up a little bit at a time. And if you do that, you're doing something so important. So important. Doesn't matter what they pay you. I mean, I said that wrong. What they pay you has nothing to do. No, I realize it does matter. Man, if we could get some 30% raises, great, right? But realistically, but what I'm saying is, what they pay you does not show the value of what you do. And the same is true of all the guys in the Army, in the Marines, in the Air Force, the first responders, the cops. My gosh, they're willing to take a shot, a bullet for us, and they don't even know us, right? And that's how you have to see yourselves. You're a first responder for taking kids forward, right? And for helping make this country great. You make a huge difference. So there. So anyways, I pick up that walkie-talkie. I'm all fed up. He yells at me every single time. I must have heard, you must relax a couple thousand times. I promise you. I'm too tight. I'm scared because I started too late, right? But that's just how it is. And so, and I never would have made it without him. And everybody has a coach. They just do. They do. You're seeing it on the Olympics. I mean, Mrs. Caroli, she's coaching all the gymnast girls, right? That's what she does. She's molding them, moving them from a 9.9 to a 10. That's all she's doing. See, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It is. So I'm going to tell you my story. And when we're done here today, you're going to walk out of here thinking, man, if that guy can make it to the Olympics even one time, then we can do anything, okay? Yeah, because I give people hope. See, I'm not a great athlete. I'm not. I can't jump high. I can't run fast. And I'm not particularly strong. I'm like your neighbor. Really. Man, no false modesty there, man, I tell you. All throughout school, I was the last kid they picked for PE. It was awful. I was on the bench for kickball. I didn't even know there was a bench for kickball, okay? Yeah. Always had the two captains choosing teams. I was the last one they picked. Last captain always said the same thing. Oh, got to get Ruben again? That was the story of my life. Because I'm not fast, I'm not strong, I'm not. And so, I just had a dream, and I surrounded myself with people that believed in me and disassociated myself with the ones that made fun and stayed in the game long enough to learn some skills, and I used those skills to make it. Did I win any medals? No, but I got to play with the big boys 4 times. Okay? I did. At the Vancouver Olympics, I was 47. The kid that won, this German kid, he wasn't even born when I was competing in the Calgary Olympics. I mean, isn't that crazy? That's sick. Everybody asked me if I was a coach. It was terrible. I would do speeches before, coming up to the Olympics, and people say, hey, are you going to win the gold medal? Right? That was like Q&A, right? You going to win the gold medal? I told them, man, at my age, I'll be happy to make the cover of AARP, okay? But anyway, so here goes. I was born in Argentina. My dad was a chemical engineer with Exxon, and we got transferred to the States when I was 6 years old. I was an oil brat. Now, we were in Queens, New York at first. Now, in Argentina, everybody speaks Spanish. They eat a lot of beef. They play a lot of soccer, okay? That's Argentina in a nutshell. All of a sudden, I'm in Queens, New York. I'm the only kid in my class that doesn't speak English, and school was tough, all right? And I learned how to speak English by reading adventure books. I love to read adventure books. I read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Around the World in 80 Days, and all these books about kids that led adventurous lives. And after a while, once I could speak English, I'd bring these books and I'd show them to my friends and say, hey, I want my life to be like a book. They look at me kind of funny. I say, what do you mean? I say, I want my life to be an adventure. I mean, how cool would that be? And so I always had the antennas out looking for the adventure. And I'll never forget when I'm 10 years old, 1972, Sapporo, Japan, Winter Olympics roll around. And watching them on TV in the sofa with my younger brother, Marcelo. It's like, man, look at those skiers. They're flying down that mountain. And look at the people that are going crazy with those cowbells. The Olympics. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be in the Olympics. And I caught the dream. But it was a pipe dream because I didn't believe it was possible. You're not getting picked to play sports in school. You'll be in the Olympics. Give me a break. So if you don't believe something's possible, why even try, right? I wrote a book called The Courage to Succeed. And I believe that no matter what you're trying to do, graduate high school, graduate college, double your business, whatever, right? You got to have 2 types of courage. You have to have the courage to get started, and everything's tough at the beginning because you have no skills, so you have to have the courage to endure, the courage to not quit. The courage to get started comes from believing it's possible. If you believe it's possible, hey, I'll give it a shot. The courage to not quit, that comes from your desire. If you want something badly enough, ain't nothing gonna make you quit, right? Well, back then I had neither one of those. And so a couple of years went by, and my dad got tired of me talking the talk, but not walking the walk. And one day he said, Ruben, you like to read books. Why don't you read some biographies? If you'll study lives of great people, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't work in life, because success leaves clues. I thought success leaves clues. That's pretty good. You mean I don't have to make all the mistakes by myself? I can learn from other people? So I started reading biographies. And I loved them because they were true life adventures. And after a while, I realized, man, every biography is the same book. It's always the same story, right? It's always a story. Somebody had a dream, then they went through a struggle, and then they didn't quit. They got their victory, right? There's always dream, struggle, victory. Dream, struggle, victory, then somebody shows up, they want to write a book about you. That's it. Yeah. And the one thing, the common denominator of everybody I read, and some of these people I read, 20 years, they're banging their head on the wall trying to figure out how to make that dream come true. But they don't quit. They either figure it out on their own or they ran into somebody, became their coach, their mentor, showed them the ropes. But the ones that quit, you never hear about those. Those are really short biographies, right? Thought about it, didn't even try, the end. Right? I mean, those are worst sellers, not best sellers. But perseverance was the common denominator. They just didn't quit. And so in the 5th grade, I made a decision that changed my life. I said to myself, if perseverance is the key, not a guarantee, there's no guarantees in life, but at least you got a shot, and quitting, kills your dream, it's easy, right? From today on, Ruben doesn't quit anything. Because even as a 5th grader, I understood, right, at a gut level, after reading over these biographies, I understood that, hey, if I'm going after something today and I quit, and next week, I'm trying something new, and I quit that too. And the week after that, I'm doing something new and quit that too. Quitting will become a bad habit. 20 years ago, I won't have done anything with my life. And just the thought of that scared the heck out of me. It's going to be easier not to quit. Fast forward a couple of years. Now I'm walking out of my high school library. I'm a sophomore or a junior. This kid walks up to me and goes, hey, Ruben, you know what your nickname needs to be? I said, no, what? He said, bulldog. We got some bulldogs here today, don't we? Whoa, right in the middle. Whoa. Awesome. I saw those t-shirts, man. I love it. He goes, your name needs to be Bulldog. And I said, Bulldog? Why? He says, bulldogs never quit, right? They don't. If a bulldog grabs hold of your leg, you're not letting go. I thought, really? He goes, yeah. I turned around, I went back to the library. I got me a book about bulldogs. I got to check it out, right? I'm a chemistry, biology double major, right? I went to Houston Baptist University. I was supposed to be pre-med, and I'm saving lives today by not being a doctor, because you don't want me operating on you. But I got me a book about bulldogs, and it checked out. Bulldogs are bred to be tenacious. In the old days, 200 years ago, they'd have a bull ring in England, a bull, a handful of bulldogs, and it was a fight to the death. And that was a big spectator sport in England before ESPN, okay? Now, the only way a little bulldog's gonna beat a bull is to not let go. You know why their nose is so flat and their jaw sticks out? They're ugly for a reason, okay? Once they clamp on, their nose is way back here. They can breathe all day long. They don't have to let go. When I read that, I got excited. I ran out of that library. First person I met, I said, my name's Ruben, but you can call me Bulldog, all right? And from that day on, I was Bulldog. And I didn't know I was doing this. I didn't know I was doing this, but I was creating positive peer pressure to make me even more perseverant. Because imagine your nickname in high school is Bulldog and you're a big quitter, right? They'd run you out of there. The books you read, my dad always said, the books you read and the people you hang around with, those two things will determine if you make your dream come true or not. He said, Ruben, you want to hang around people you have respect for, not people you have influence over. If all you ever do is hang around these people are always whining, they're making excuses, they don't have any work ethic, they want everybody to give things to them in a silver platter. Man, they're not going anywhere. If all you do there, you try to break out of that pack, they're going to pull you back. And if you try to do something special, right, then none of them is going to encourage you to go for it. He says you want to hang around winners. Successful people think big. They're always focusing on the dream. They don't focus on the obstacles. There's always going to be obstacles, but they focus on the dream. Why? Because the dream gives you energy. It gives you strength. It gives you passion. It gives you everything you need to bust through those obstacles, right? And they think differently. They talk differently. They ask different questions, right? They'll ask questions like, what if? What if? Why not me? Why not now? Those are great questions to ask yourself. Those are great questions to ask your kids, right? Why not you? Why not now? Why not? I just watched October Sky. I'm sure you guys have seen it, right? About the kids that wanted to shoot rockets. Awesome, awesome movie. I can't believe I've never heard of it before. It's a 20-year-old movie. I'm reading the book now. I like the movie so much, I'm reading the book. But it's about these kids, and their teacher inspires them to keep going. All right, and they're in West Virginia in a cold town, and it's all about negativity and limitations and who do you think you are? And this teacher, Miss Riley, she gets those kids dreams and she feeds those dreams. And one of the kids ends up, the guy that wrote the book, ended up working in NASA. I mean, how cool is that? She made a difference, just like you. We got a bunch of Miss Rileys here. We got some Mr. Rileys too, okay? But yeah, read the book, watch the movie. While you're at it, watch Rudy and watch Miracle about the U.S. team that beat the Russians. Man, sometimes when you're down and when you start feeling that life's not fair and you start acting like those guys, you got to pull out Miracle, all right? That thing, you walk out of there ready to get back in the fight. I need to watch that sometimes. I do. I mean, I got to hear this talk. I do. I'm glad I haven't missed one yet. I'm always here. But anyways, so where was I? Where was I? Tell me, I'm asking you. Before I got to talking about October Sky, I speak from the heart, okay? And sometimes I go in Bulldogs, there we go. Yeah, so my dad said, who are you going to hang around with? They think big, right? They think big. He says, Ruben, you'll feel out of place. You'll feel like you don't belong. You'll feel awkward, but force yourself to hang around those winners, because if you do, it'll rub off on you. You'll start thinking big. And when those people believe in you, you'll start believing in yourself, because you respect their opinion. And I was smart enough to do those two things, guys. Made a point to read good books, hang around people I respected. And over a period of years, I started thinking different. Years, okay? Okay? This is not like that midnight, TV pill that you take and it makes you skinny and rich at the same time. I tried it. I gained weight and I lost a bunch of money. Okay? No. Personal development takes time, but it rubs off on you. You grow, you start taking bigger risks, and then big things start happening in your life. And once in a while, you do need to come back over here because there's always somebody in this group that's doing this. Get me out of here. And you just pull them out. I mean, you got to meet my friends. You're going to love these guys. And you bring them over here. And then you go back, right? And that's what you all do already, right? You're bringing them, moving them up. That's all it is. That's all it is. And so, anyways, I read good books, and I made it a point to hang around people I respected. And over a period of years, I started believing in myself, right? Because everybody says, believe in yourself. Oh, that sounds so good, doesn't it? It's totally worthless. I just showed you how to believe in yourself. It's what you put in here. You got to flush out that negative stuff and replace it with positive stuff. And eventually, boom, you start believing in yourself. Just like when Coach said, Ruben, you must relax. You must relax. He never showed me how to relax, so it wasn't any good. It wasn't until 25 years later that this other coach who knew how the mind works taught me how to relax. And the fear went away in one day. A little tweak. That's all it took. So now I'm a soccer player at Houston Baptist University. And they had an NCAA Division I soccer team. Highest level of collegiate athletics. And I never played in a good team. I played soccer all my life, but I'm a slowpoke. I've got good skills, but what good are my skills if the other guy gets to the ball first? But I found out that HBU had an NCAA Division I soccer team, and by then I'd been hanging around my mentors, right, my special people. And I was starting to think that way. I was starting to ask questions like, why not me? Why not now? Why can't I be on that team? And I found out there's a day you could actually go and try out. So I tried out, and I made the team. I couldn't believe it. Overnight jock. I even got a scholarship. My dad got excited about that part. Yeah, and they give you 2 uniforms, right, away and home, and a little bag to carry them in. It said HBU soccer. I carried that bag everywhere. I was so proud of my bag. That was me. I'm the soccer player now. I slept with that bag. That was my little teddy bear, right? Seriously, I loved it. A couple of weeks go by. Coach says, after practice, Coach says, Ruben, come to my office. Got to talk to you, right? Close the door, sit down. He said, obviously, you had an incredible tryout because you're really not that good. He says, the new rule around here is you get to play when we're winning by 2 goals because you're a threat to our own team. That's what he said. Yeah, he was a real motivator. But it didn't even hurt. I was still so happy to be part of the team. That part wasn't supposed to be funny. I was still so happy to be part of the team that my new goal in life became don't get cut, right? And so I realized, obviously I must not be too valuable on the field. I better become valuable off the field. So on my own, I just started mowing the lawn at the soccer field, and drawing the lines and washing the soccer balls. And I figured if this guy, if he cuts me, he's going to have to replace me with 3 other guys, right? And I was on the team, I was on the traveling squad, but it was like this. I mean, I'm sitting on the bench and watching the game, and we score a goal, and I get excited. And we score another goal, and I get to play, and the other team scores, and I got to sit down, and that was it. 5 minutes a game. I mean, that was good. Yeah. And around that time, I'm 21 years old, the Olympics roll around again. 1984 Sarajevo Winter Olympic Games. And I'm watching them on TV. And I see a little guy. He must have weighed 115 pounds soaking wet. This little 18-year-old kid wins the gold medal in figure skating, Scott Hamilton. When I saw little Scott Hamilton win that gold medal, he gave me hope. I said to myself, if that little guy can do it, I can too. I'll be in the next Olympics no matter what. It's a done deal. It is. I just got to find a sport. Yeah. Then I went into superintendent mode. That's right. I did exactly what you did. Man, I think we should start a doubles team and go for the next one. Yeah. Went back to the library. And all the answers are in the library. I mean, really. They are. They really are. You can find anything there. got a big book about the Olympics. I got 4 years. I've got 4 years. There's going to be another Olympics, right? So I got a deadline on my goal. That gives me urgency. There's no time to waste. There's already all these East Germans that are good at my sport. I don't even know what sport it is. I mean, think about that. A bad situation, okay? I got this big book. I started going through the list of the summer sports, just like you. After 5 minutes, I realized, man, you got to be a super athlete to do any of this stuff. There's no way. I mean, you got to be able to jump over houses and lift cars and run 100 miles an hour. I couldn't do any of that stuff. So I got down. And then I started looking at the list of the Winter Games. And as I'm looking at that list, the analytical side of my brain kicked in. I started thinking, hey, I'm about to put together a plan here for the next 4 years. It probably would make sense to base the plan on my strengths. My strength's not athleticism. I'm just okay athlete. My strength's perseverance. I'm bulldog, remember? And so I thought, I got to find a sport that's so tough, a sport's got so many broken bones in it, there'd be a lot of quitters, right? Only I won't quit. I'll make it to the top on the attrition rate. I mean, that's my whole plan. Yeah. I'm serious, guys. That's exactly what I did. Now I'm looking for tough sports. Ski jump, bobsled, luge. I lived in Houston, Texas. Okay? Hot, humid, flat, stinky, Houston, Texas. I never skied before. So forget ski jump. That'd have been suicide, right? Bobsled. Where are you going to find 3 other nuts in Houston who want to do bobsled? I mean, got to go to Jamaica for that, right? No, those guys are cool. I mean, I respect them big time. I'll tell you about them later. And if I forget, Jamaica bobsledders, okay? I got 5 hours of material, lots of stories from so many, seriously, because I got so many, so many things have happened over the years. And they're all stories that illustrate, the common themes that you see in meetings. But Jamaican bobsledders is a good one. So that left the luge. I'd never even seen the luge on TV at that point in my life. If I'd have seen what you guys just saw in that video, no way I'm doing that. That's crazy. I mean, I just had a little picture of a guy on a luge. I thought, that looks really tough. That's the one for me. That's how I picked my sport. I didn't even know where the track was. So what do? Well, got to find somebody that knows, right? Well, no one in Houston's going to know. Sports Illustrated should know. It's their job to know sports, right? So I wrote them a letter. It's a really short letter, but a really good letter. Where do you go learn how to luge? Signed, Ruben. Yeah, bottom line. Don't waste people's time. They actually wrote back. They said Lake Placid, New York. That's where the track is. So I called Lake Placid. I'm an athlete here in Houston. I want to learn how to luge, so I'm in the Olympics in 4 years. Will you help me? You got to ask for help. You can't do it all by yourself. You got to ask for help. And you got to teach your kids to ask for help. You do. Don't let that pride thing get in the way. The heck with the pride thing. Just ask for help. People want to help. They do. It's ingrained. People want to be helpful. And if you want to do anything big, whatever it is, okay, you just go to somebody that's already doing it. And they'll be happy to tell you, because successful people like to talk about success. You're not wasting their time. You're not. You're giving them a chance to create their own ripple effect and create a legacy. Once you start succeeding, they can say, I showed her back when. I knew her back then. And look what we did together. She did most of the work, but I kind of guided her, right? It's the same thing. When one of your kids comes asking for help, you don't feel put off, right? You feel, this is great. I get to touch you and help you and bring you up. It's an opportunity for both of us. So anyways, I call Lake Placid. Will you help me? And this guy says, how old are you? I said, 21. He started laughing. He says, 21, forget it, man. You're way too old. We start them off when they're 10 years old. By now, you have 10 years experience. No way, no way. I didn't know what to do. I thought they were going to welcome me with open arms, and here this guy's laughing at my dream. I mean, you guys ever have somebody laugh at your dream? Stinks, doesn't it? Yeah. And when they do, you just ran into somebody that doesn't believe as much as you do. They have a belief problem, not you. And they try to belittle you because you'll make them look bad if you reach your dream. So you disassociate from them and you come over here and you get yourself some big dreamers. Because a dreamer will never be understood by a non-dreamer. They just won't. They're a different animal. So you hang out with these guys. You do. You do. And they'll help you, and they'll encourage you, and they'll do everything they need to do. And so anyways, I didn't know what to do. This guy's laughing at my dream. Only thing I knew was don't hang up the phone. If I hang up the phone, that's just not an option. If I hang up the phone, it's all over, right? So I thought, I gotta make friends with this guy, right? I gotta, create some rapport so I can think of something. And one other thing that my mentors always said, they said, Ruben, a couple of times in your life, you're gonna be going after something. I mean, you're really going after something, and boom, you're gonna hit a wall you didn't know existed. And when that happens, you have to immediately start saying to yourself, there's always a way, there's always a way. I'm gonna find a way because God always gives me a way. If I don't quit, I'll make it happen. You start saying that, that'll put you in the right frame of mind. That'll put you in a positive, resourceful state, and you'll be looking, your subconscious will be looking for the answer. But what do most people do? Oh, man, not fair. This always happens to me. Every time I try to do something, that happens to me. And you quit. You start whining, and boom, you're down. You can't do that. When you have all this momentum, you can't lose that momentum. You can't. I've got a friend that's a boxer. He almost made it to the Olympics. He missed it by one fight. His coach didn't show up. His coach had a family emergency, didn't show up. He had nobody in his corner. He didn't know what to do, and he lost the fight. But he tells me, you know what, Ruben? He talks about resilience. He talks about resilience. You get down and how to get back up, because boxers know about that. And he said, Ruben, when a boxer gets knocked down, he got 10 seconds to get up. If he gets up and late longer than 10 seconds, it's over. He lost the fight. All right, so you have to do whatever you can. So from now on, you have to think you're a boxer. All of you guys, we're all boxers from the rest of our lives. When life knocks you down, you got 10 seconds because you're not going to lose. And if you get up fast, then you get back in the fight, and you still got a shot. Right? So I'm a boxer in my head. So I'm thinking there's always a way, there's always a way, there's always a way. I'm going to find a way. And I'm telling this guy my life story to buy some time. And I happen to tell him that I was born in Argentina. And he gets excited all of a sudden. He goes, Argentina? Why didn't you say so? If you'll go for Argentina, we'll help you. I said, why? A minute ago, you were going to help me at all. I don't get it. He said, well, the sport of luge is in danger of getting kicked out of the Olympics because we don't have enough countries who are doing the luge, right? It's just Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Russia, the US, Canada. That's about it, okay? We're recruiting. Really? Tell me more. He says, if you'll go for Argentina, you'll travel with us, we'll coach you, we'll help you, we'll even lend you sleds and equipment the first year. Then you eventually got to get your own stuff. You'll be going for Argentina, though. And then, if by some kind of a miracle you make it to the Olympics, then it's great for the sport because, see, we don't have any, well, let me see something. Man, we don't even have anybody in South America. You would be all of South America. You'd be a whole continent. I thought, whoa. So he says, will you go for Argentina? And I asked him first, what? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? I still don't get why you're helping me. And he said, we're on the verge, okay, of getting kicked out. We're putting millions of dollars into the U.S. luge program so we can develop our athletes over many, many years. But if we get kicked out by the IOC, it's all money down the drain. So will you go for Argentina? And I thought about it for about a nanosecond. I said, of course I'll go for Argentina. I'll go for anybody. I don't care. I'll go for Pakistan. Sign me up, right? I didn't care what sport. If they'd have had Olympic tiddlywinks, man, I am there, right? I just want to be in the Olympics. I want to be part of that group of people that are respected so much. I want to be in that club. And it was, for me, might sound strange, but for me, it was about walking in the opening ceremonies. I remember watching films and films and films of ancient Olympics, and they're always showing them walking and marching, and that was it for me. It was never about the medal for me. It was about marching in the opening ceremonies and showing that you did it, right? That you reach a higher level of excellence. Kind of like this orchestra we had today. Oh my gosh, they were awesome. They were awesome. I love excellence. I love excellence. It's like, oh, I love it. And they were you close your eyes, that was Yanni. I'm serious. They were that good. They were that good. They were so good. And it didn't just happen. My kids have been doing the piano for 7 years, and they're just starting to get really good. But I bet some of these kids have probably been doing their instrument for 10, 15 years, I bet. And it shows. And it shows. It's incremental, incremental. Get those kids to the next level, one little bit at a time. And after 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, they'll amaze you. They will amaze you. They will amaze you. So I said, I'll go. So he goes, well, before you come to Lake Placid, you need to know 2 things. Number 1, if you want to do it at your age, you want to do it in just 4 years, it's brutal, brutal. 9 out of 10 people quit. When you said that, I started smiling. I thought, wow, this works right into my plan. This is just perfect, right? So what's the second thing? He said, expect to break some bones. I said, great. And he got real quiet for a long time, and finally he comes back and goes, what's wrong with you, man? I told you you're gonna break some bones. Are you crazy or something? I said, look, man, I hope it's 10 times harder than what you're telling me. I hope it's 100 times harder, because the harder it is, the easier it is for me, because I'm not a quitter. I'm bulldog. See? Guys, I was praying that it would be so hard that some of these East Germans would quit. Yeah. And obviously I didn't pray hard enough, because they always show up, they race, they pick up their medals, and they head home. I mean, they are so good. Oh my gosh. Germany has won 80% of all the medals, luge and World Cup, in the last 50 years. Okay? Yeah, it's like if the Cowboys have won 80% of the Super Bowls in the last 50 years. They changed the rules. They'd make it illegal. And they're not any better. They just made a decision to be better. They said, this is where we're going to focus, and we're going to be better, and we're going to be excellent at it, and we're going to be the best. And it's just what you were talking about. We're going to make a decision because we can and because we will. And so we're going to do it. Done. It's a done deal. Just a done deal. Success is a decision. It's a decision. That's all it is. You decide and then you do it, and you don't quit. That's it. It's simple. Okay? Success is simple. Not easy. It's really hard. But there's no competition at the top because nobody's willing to do what you guys are going to do. Yeah. And then you're going to be the best. You're almost there. I can feel it. I just feel it. Oh, you're so close. You're so close. Just keep going. Keep going, okay? That marathon, right? You got 1 more mile. You did 25. Keep going. Keep going. Because that last mile is what makes you a marathon runner. It's not the first 25. It's that last one. Got to finish strong. Finish strong, okay? Consistent and persistent every day, every day, every day. You do what it takes, and it adds up. And there's a compounding effect, just like at the bank. And boom, then it happens. You're there. You reach another level. It's like, oh, man, this is great. This is awesome. And you feel so proud. You feel so happy because you did it. And that's what the Olympics are about, too. It's just excellence. All it is. It's excellence. So he said, I'll go. It's 2 months after I saw Scott Hamilton on TV. I'm walking down Main Street, Lake Placid, looking for the U.S. Olympic Training Center. Just looking. And there it is. U.S. Olympic Training Center. Oh, man. I opened up my bag, tossed my camera to a passerby, and boom, got my first picture. Right? Yeah. And I go inside, and I'm meeting the athletes, and it was just so exciting. And later that afternoon, we're at the track. Right? It's a track like the one you saw, but now it's springtime, so there's no ice. Concrete, cement, hard, okay? We're going to go on wheeled sleds, 50 miles an hour down that track. That's how we're going to learn the basics of luge. All we're wearing is tennis shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt. That's it. And a helmet. The helmet's just for decoration. It doesn't help. This makes those lawyers happy. Yeah. You crash at that speed on the concrete, straight to the hospital. It's the weeding out process in the sport of luge. Yeah. And you go, and they put me in a class with 15 other guys, and every day there's a couple less showing up for practice. I couldn't understand it. They were quitting on their dream. I just didn't understand. I tried to talk a couple of them from doing it, right? They become my friends. Don't quit, come on. They quit. And they all had great reasons for quitting. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's too far away. Oh, I don't like, I miss my family. I don't like the luge. Well, I didn't like the luge either. I was killing myself out there. First 2 years, I was crashing 4 out of 5 times. 4 out of 5. That hurt, okay? Yeah, but I kept at it. And after a while, I'm crashing 3 out of 5. Oh, that was a good day. Yeah. And then after about a year, I'm crashing 1 out of 10. And after 2 years, I'm crashing 1 out of 100. I finally figured out how to drive that darn sled. And by then, there's no competition left because they all quit. Then you start competing internationally. In the last 2 years, you have to start competing, right? Because you go to all these World Cup races against the best in the world, and you got to get points, just like NASCAR, right? You get points based on your performance. It's all about performance. And on December 31st, right before the Olympics in February, top 40 in the world get to go. 41 watches it on TV. That's how it works. Yeah. And that fourth year, I was able to crack into the top 50. Back then, it was top 50. Now it's top 40. But top 50 in the world, and I got to go to the Olympics. Calgary, 1988. That's the one you see in Cool Runnings, right? I love that movie because it takes me back, right? And Eddie the Eagle, same thing. He was there. I mean, when you're walking into the opening ceremonies and you feel so happy, you feel so proud. And at the same time, I felt sad for a couple of guys that quit because they become my friends. I'm thinking, wow, what are they feeling like today? They're watching it on TV. I bet it's killing them inside. I bet it hurts so much they got to change channels. I bet it hurts so much they can't watch the Olympics for the rest of their lives. And on their deathbed, they'll be thinking, what if? What if I hadn't quit? See, I paid a huge price to make it to the Olympics, okay? But everyone will pay a huge price to reach their goals and dreams. That's just the price of success. That's just life. See, I believe that God gives you the dream. He puts a dream in your heart, okay? I believe. And it's like a carrot in front of a horse. The dream will get you to do things that you wouldn't have done without the dream. It'll help you take chances. And you start digging deep inside. You start realizing what you're made up of, right? And you get strong. But the dream is the carrot, right? And the pursuit of your dream, don't ever tell anybody that you're being selfish when you're chasing a dream. No, because it's not about the dream. It's about the person you become in the pursuit of the dream. See? And so if you go for it, you grow into the best that you can be, and now you can give the world the best that you can be. That's why the dreamers do all the big things. They do. The Steve Jobs, the Einsteins, the Wilma Rudolphs, the Muhammad Alis, the General George Pattons, people that were willing to push the envelope and do what other people said that it was impossible to do. I said, maybe for you, but not for me, right? I mean, you can catch me. You're gonna have your tongue dragging because you're gonna have to outwork me. And that's their attitude. Whatever it takes for as long as it takes. That's what it takes. That's all it takes. Even before my first Olympics, I might have been jogging. I might have been lifting weights. I might have been eating dinner. I might have been walking down the mall. You know what's going on here all the time? What I thought about all the time? I could see myself walking into that opening ceremonies. I could see all the people cheering. It was so exciting. And I look over there and wow, there's the Olympic flag and there's those rings. We're here. And I look over my shoulder and wow, here's the Olympic torch burning brightly. And here's the Olympic orchestra playing the Olympic anthem, my favorite song in the whole wide world. And we're high-fiving each other. We made it, it was worth it, it was worth it. You feel the wind hitting your face and the snow and the tears, and you feel the goosebumps everywhere. I can feel the goosebumps right now, guys. I am there. And 4 years later, when I actually got to walk into that stadium, it was just like I imagined it, only 100 times better. It was awesome, awesome. The mind can't tell the difference between what you vividly imagine with all your heart and all your soul and all your passion. It can't tell the difference between that and something that's actually happening. So when you go through that little exercise, what's it gonna feel like? What's it gonna taste like? What's it gonna be like when I finally make my dream come true? You get strong inside. You start walking differently. You start talking differently. All of a sudden, people that made fun of you, they disappear from your life. They're after somebody that's weak. All of a sudden, you become better at work. You become a better leader at work. You become a better teacher because everybody wants to follow somebody that's excited. Everybody wants to follow somebody that's passionate, right? Look back, think back in your lives. Who's your favorite teacher? It probably had nothing to do with the subject. It had to do with the attitude and the excitement. And that's something anybody can do, guys. I'm a shy guy. I know none of you believe me, but I'm a shy guy. I'm a bookworm. I would rather be sitting in the corner reading a book than having to talk to a person, because that's a stretch for me. It is. And look at what I do for a living. I made C's in English, okay? My parents, they celebrated when I brought home a C. It was that bad. And I've written best-selling books. Doesn't make sense. I'm not a great athlete. I got to go 4 Olympics. It's all attitude and outwork the competition. You can always make up in hard work what you don't have in gifts and talent. I believe that with all my heart because I've lived it. I've lived it. And so, yeah, it's just believing and hanging around those believers and let it rub off on you, and you'll be a better leader if you start getting all excited like that. You'll be like a Pied Piper, and everybody will love you. And they'll be following you. Hello, I love you, teacher. And you get those letters in 30 years. Got to wait 30 years, but you can start getting those letters. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you about the Jamaicans, and then I need to close. The Olympics are about inclusiveness, right? I mean, we're going to bring everybody from all over the world, and we're all going to do our best, and it's going to be all people that are willing to pay the price and work hard, and we're going to do our best, and we're going to have a celebration, and we're going to make memories, and we're going to go home. So I go to the Calgary Olympics, and the Jamaican bobsledders, they're getting bullied by the Germans, okay? I couldn't believe it. I mean, they were making fun of them. Well, see, bobsled is Switzerland, Austria, Germany, and northern Italy, which is basically Germany, okay? Those are the countries that do bobsled big time. You practically have to be blonde haired to be admitted into the sport, all right? And so I would have stood out. And so the Jamaicans, they really stood out, all right? And they're making fun of them. They said, hey, island boy, why don't you go back to your little beach and play with the boys? The men do this. Go home. And I was shocked, right? Because it's total un-Olympic behavior. Instead of, And after I saw it 3 times, I just had to go up to one of these guys. And I talked to one of the bobsledders, and I asked him, man, what are you feeling? What's it feel like? I mean, these guys are laughing at your dream. They're laughing at your face. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, we're winners. We intend to get the last laugh. And I thought, whoa, these guys are tough, right? So I kept my eye on them. 4 years later, we're at the Albertville Olympics in France. They got 4 more years of experience, so they're pretty good. Nobody would laugh at their face anymore. A few people laughed behind their back, but that was it. Yeah. Then at the Salt Lake City Olympics, they've been at it for almost 15 years. These guys are solid, okay? Before, they were extremely good athletes who didn't know how to get in a sled or drive a sled. Now, they were extremely good athletes that had technique and knew how to drive. Salt Lake City, they actually beat one of the U.S. sleds. They got a Disney movie, they're laughing all the way to the back, right? So what I learned from the Jamaicans is that average people, and that's most everybody out there, guys, average people, when you tell them about your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, right, what you want to do, they're going to go through 3 stages. First, they're going to laugh at you because they don't believe. Then, they're going to watch you. And when you start making things happen, they're going to admire you, okay? But you don't get to admiration if you can't put up with laughter, right? And I'm always trying to come up with really exciting, big dreams for myself to get me to do the things I need to do to, move my business forward. The dream, I have to come up with a really good dream. And if I'm not getting at least a few people once in a while laughing at my dream, I know that's an indicator that I'm not dreaming big enough. I got to step it up a notch. When I start getting a little snicker, I thought, okay, I'm on the right path. Yeah, big dreams. You got to take your breath away. Take your breath away. Keep you up at night. Get you excited like a little kid. Woo! Can't wait till I get that. Yeah, it's got to be like that. Yeah. So I'm going to close with this, all right? What are the chances somebody like me can make it to the Olympics even one time, all right? I wasn't a great athlete. 21 years old. I live in hot and humid Houston. I go pick the luge for Pete's sake. I mean, what are the chances? 1 in a million? 1 in 10 million? I had a better chance to win the lottery. Probably did. I was just an ordinary kid with an extraordinary dream. I wasn't a big shot. I just a little shot, kept on shooting. Yeah, a little shot that kept on shooting. That's something anybody can do. Guys, you make a decision today that you can be a little shot, keep on shooting, look out. You make your dreams come true too. You will. So next time you're having one of those days, next time you're driving that car or you feel like that bug just smashed into the windshield of the car, just remember that guy that got to go to the Olympics. If I can do that, coming from where I came, you guys, with all the teamwork and all the love and all the, like I said earlier, man, I can feel it. You guys are a different type of group, right? You got an awesome leader. He makes it fun, but he knows, right? You guys can do anything, anything. So thank you so much for having me. You guys were awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, boss. Thank you, guys. Woo. Thank you.